What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live Monday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning on this, the 31st day of July in the year of our Lord Hello Kitty. And it's time. It is time to set our sails. It is time to chart our course. It is time to get out our compass and see where the crazy winds of the tabletop role-playing game news are going to take us this week. And already we have rumors and speculations about a new announcement from Drive-Thru that is going to shake up the tabletop role-playing game community in a way it hasn't been shooken up since the last time it was shooken up over something. Now, I don't actually have any links or information on this. I don't know if it's different than the previous announcement they made about AI art, and everybody's just upset about it now because the AI art, AI creator thing directly relates to the writer's strike and directly relates to Hasbro's announcement that it's planning on hiring AI artists and AI creators to create the AI DM for D&D Beyond. But we'll move on to that. We'll move on to that in a second. Okay. So yes, we're upset about this Drive-Thru thing, even though I don't have any information yet. We have some grumblings about intellectual properties, maybe indirectly related to, again, the actors, writers thingy strike across the United States. And of course, we're angry about how people role play, because apparently multiple courts are telling people you're not playing the right way again. And we've got some other people who are upset about clout chasing and content farming. And then we have the usual Paizo Wizards of the Coast nightmares to track our sales by. So let's just take a deep breath. Appreciate this lovely summer morning. Well, except for me, because it's foggy and allergy weather. But for the rest of you, it's probably a lovely summer morning. Okay, let's take a look at what we're upset about this week, shall we? Everything's coming up horror and everything's coming up Pathfinder. Why? Because PaizoCon is about to happen. Guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Hasbro PulseCon's about to happen too, so that should give us some information that should be interesting. And it's MIDSUMMER Screem, which means it is the official start of the Halloween season. Universal already has a lot of its facades up for Halloween Horror Nights. Knox Scary Farm just announced its lineup for its 50th year of Knox Scary Farm. I can't believe it's been 50 years. Jesus. God, I love Knox Scary Farm. I try and go every year if I can. So yeah, here we go. Pathfinder. Pathfinder has teamed up with digital media. What? And they're now trying to do a Pathfinder Starfinder mobile game with a company called Tabletop Town. All right, I love that name. I'm not sure why, but I do. And welcome to Tabletop Town. And we've got some kind of stellar Starfinder space wizard right next to this classic 1960s picture of, enjoy sunny Palm Springs type thing. Very retro here. Not sure what retro has to do with Pathfinder, but I do like the picture. So, yep. If you're looking for some, I assume they're going to be mobile gaming thingies that you can play on your cell phones, Raid, Shadow Legends, and Tower Defenses, and whatever else it is you kids play on your cell phones. That they're now working on that with a company called Tabletop Town, because Pathfinder is also taking their topic and product digital and trying to embrace the new norm of the internet savvy world. But at least, unlike Wizards of the Coast, they're at least doing it slightly better. Pathfinder has some new information for coming up for their end of the quarter Adventurers League stuff. They're also announcing that they're doing a trivia game. This is called Pathfinder Lore Masters, and it is a trivia game about Pathfinder stuff that you can play on your mobile devices. So it's not a Trivial Pursuit type board game. It's a trivia computer type game that you can play on your thing and go, oh, trivia, bink Pathfinder, dink Glorian, dink. What is the name of the 37th king of the city of Nex? And you're like, who knows that, dude? But for those people who pay deep into Pathfinder Glorian rules, this will be like a godsend for them to play while they're on the bus. I don't know why they keep using on the bus as the example. Are they just like assuming that as gas gets more and more expensive, more and more people are going to be taking mobile transportation? Or is it just the fact that they live in a city that actually has a decent public transportation system, i.e. Seattle? And speaking of Pathfinder, they also have something coming out called Elemental Storms. It's a board game based upon a role-playing game supplement that they're making. They have the Pathfinder Rage of the Elements adventure path coming out relatively soon. It is their latest homage to, of course, Temple of Elemental Evil. It's all about elementals. And then they also have a board game coming out called Elemental Stones. This might sound familiar because there's another board game out called Elemental Stones. I guess Pathfinder didn't know that. We'll see what comes out of that. All right, are you ready? Are you done with Pathfinder? You ready to move on? Nope, too bad. Pathfinder is still also pushing this alternate video media enhanced reality thing that they're working on with Mirroscape. So again, this is enhanced reality. So the DM puts something in his computer. Picture of Keep. You all have to hold up your digital device of choice. You point it at the table. You will then see the picture superimposed with the table. So as you move your stuff around the table, it will be slowly, chunkily moved around in the 3D environment that the DM's created on his computer, assuming you all have the exact same level of technology on your handheld device of choice, and the internet where you are doing this is fast enough to process this. In other words, for the amount of time and effort and money you're going to spend on this, you could just draw the fucking map on a piece of paper. I will never be a fan of these. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, now D&D. D&D is doing a new live play. This is going to be at Gen Con. Remember, D&D said after our long absence from the conventions that we've been at every convention, we're coming back to conventions, even though we never left conventions. But we're coming back to the conventions. And the first convention we're going to be at is Gen Con. And we're doing some live plays with a bunch of people who I don't recognize any of these people. Except for this. Oh, my God. Even in this picture, look at that smug face. I mean, I don't want to condone people bad-mouthing Crawford, but dear God, he just has such a... You just want to steal his lunch money. I don't know why. I mean, I don't want bullying. I don't want anybody to ever be hurt except for this guy. There's something about him you just want to go like, you're just so creepy. Anyways, they're doing a live action thing at Gen Con because they need that Critical Role love now that their Critical Role is not associating themselves with Wizards of the Coast, at least for now. No one cares. And does anybody know who any of these people are? Brennan Lee Mulligan. Name sounds vaguely familiar. Erica Ishishi. No clue. Gabe Hicks, no clue. Dale Kingmill, no clue. Louis Carroza, no clue. Jeremy Crawford, of course, we know. Who are these people? Doesn't say. Erica Ishii. Erica Ishii she works on Dimension 20. Gabe Hicks works on Dimension 20. Dale Kingmill is a YouTuber. Lewis is a writer. So these are all people who have done stuff with Dimension 20 and Wizards of the Coast. Moving on to Shadowrun. There is a new source book coming out for the 6th World edition of Shadowrun called the Shadowrun Shoot Straight. It expands on the nuts and bolts of the world of freelance corporate espionage that Shadowrun runs on. Rules expansions and players' advice on stealth and running a con and managing contracts and avoiding law enforcement. It's 160 pages for $50. And then WizKids has announced a War Tower. This thing, they're doing miniature terrain now, and it's interlocking like Legos. So if you are not talented enough to make your own and don't want to 3D print stuff, you can spend $300 for this thing. $300. I'm sure I can find the exact same thing for like 99 cents at some craft store. All right. While my coffee is getting ready, we now move on to the Hasbro announcement. And this is probably going to be officially announced at PaizoCon, which is happening any second now. But yeah, congratulations. What do you know? Hasbro has decided to gasp start hiring AI creators to start creating AI art and AI systems for them. So you're going to hear a lot of people talking about AI writers and AI creators getting hired by the studios, by the game companies, trying to put independent gamers like ourselves out of business. So they're going to hire these people to design an AI to run stuff and write stuff for D&D so they don't have to. Even though all the publishing companies are now saying they won't accept that stuff, Wizards is saying, oh yeah, you will. Now, at the exact same time, Wizards has also said that going forward, we have no plans to have an artificial intelligence DM in D&D Beyond, even though we just said a few weeks ago that one of the many great things about the new D&D Beyond is it will have an artificial intelligence DM. So for those days you can't get your group together and you still want to play, you can get D&D Beyond and run you through an adventure. And even though we're claiming we're hiring several people whose job it is to create this AI and the other AIs we're going to use to produce really crappy adventures, well, that's not going to be an AI DM. I know we just said we were going to have an AI DM, but now we're saying we're not going to have an AI DM, even though we just hired people to write a AI DM program for us. But yeah, that's not going to be on D&D Beyond, except of course it is. Does that hurt your brain? It hurts my brain too. So let's take a break and get some coffee. Whew, okay, so yep, that's the tabletop role-playing game news for the week. What is the things we're going to strap our star to? Well, it appears the drive-through announcement is a thing. The Wizards of the Coast AI art is a thing that we're going to have to talk about. And just generally the future of AI and how it affects our little hobby, especially for those of us who can't write or draw like me. IPs are a thing. People are arguing over IPs for some reason, I guess because of the strike, and that people think that, you know, I don't see the connection, but people are arguing over it. And role-playing, because we're already arguing about role-playing, because remember, the main point is you do not play my game the way I play my game, so therefore you are a horrible person. Let us not forget that. I mean, 99% of us wouldn't be doing this YouTube thing if we didn't have that coat to hang our onto. So that's it for the tabletop role-playing game news. To chart our course for the week. Thank you for putting up with me for 13 minutes. And don't forget to wish Steve a happy birthday. Till next time, I'm the OGGM. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Head on over to Big Geek Emporium to pick up my merch for the very last time, $1 each. And we'll be back later on today, where I will try to explain the whole IP thing to you as easily as I can. And I'm sure I will fail. But I'll try. Because I love you guys.